They told you 1971 was just an economic adjustment, a technical fix, a necessary move. What if that's the biggest lie in modern financial history? What if what happened on August 15, 1971, wasn't just a policy change, but the single most destructive financial event of the last century? Because on that day, the United States didn't just end the gold standard. They quietly detonated the financial equivalent of a nuclear device, one with a very long fuse. And right now, we are all living in the fallout. Here's the part they never teach you in school, the part the news conveniently leaves out. Most people alive today are still paying for that single decision. Every time you cringe at the grocery bill, every time you see your mortgage payment go up, every raise you feel you deserved but never got, every single dollar losing a little more of its value in your pocket, day after day, it all traces back to one moment. One televised address, one signature on a piece of paper. And the scariest part? The part that should keep you up at night? It wasn't a mistake, it wasn't an accident. It was the beginning of a plan. Let's rewind. Before 1971, the US dollar, the foundation of the global economy, was backed by something real, something tangible: gold. For every dollar printed, there was a corresponding amount of physical gold held in reserve. This system wasn't perfect, but it acted as a discipline, a check on government spending. You couldn't just print money out of thin air to fund wars or endless programs, because you had to have the gold to back it up. It forced fiscal responsibility. Then came August 15, 1971. President Nixon appeared on television and, with a few carefully chosen words, severed that link forever. He called it a temporary measure to defend the dollar against speculators. But temporary is one of the most permanent words in a politician's dictionary. From that day forward, the dollar was no longer backed by gold. It was backed by something far more powerful and far more dangerous: the full faith and credit of the United States government. In other words, pure debt. Think about what that means. The anchor was gone. The very thing that gave money its fundamental value was replaced with a promise from politicians, a promise to be responsible. How's that working out for us? This is the moment the world changed. It was the birth of the modern financial system, a system built not on savings and production, but on credit and consumption. A system where creating debt is not a bug, it is the entire feature. The government could now print unlimited amounts of money to pay its bills. And when a government prints money, the value of every dollar already in existence goes down. This isn't a complex economic theory. It's simple supply and demand. More dollars chasing the same amount of goods and services means each dollar is worth less. We have a word for that: inflation. Does this word sound familiar? A world drowning in inflation, where your paycheck buys less and less each year. A world where wages seem frozen in time while the cost of everything explodes. A world where owning a home or building real wealth feels impossible for an entire generation. A world where bankers and financial institutions seem to become richer than entire nations, while everyone else gets squeezed. That didn't happen by accident. It wasn't just a series of unfortunate events. It was engineered. And it started right here with this one decision. The move in 1971 unlocked the power for governments and central banks to manipulate the economy on a scale never before seen. It created a system that incentivizes debt, penalizes savers, and funnels wealth to the very top, to those closest to the money printer. When the government creates $1 trillion new dollars, who gets it first? It's not you, it's not me. It goes to the big banks and the massive corporations. They get to spend that new money at its full value before it circulates through the economy and drives up prices for everyone else. By the time that money trickles down to the average person in the form of a diluted paycheck, prices have already risen. This is the hidden tax that nobody votes for, the one that disproportionately hurts the poor and the middle class. It's a silent transfer of wealth, happening every single day. For a few years after 1971, it seemed like things were okay. But the fuse was lit. The 1970s saw runaway inflation, the stagflation that crippled the economy. And since then, we've just been lurching from one debt-fueled bubble to another. The dot-com bubble, the housing bubble of 2008, And what are we in now? The everything bubble. All financed by cheap, easy money made possible by the decision in 1971. To understand the real reason why he made that fateful choice, you have to understand who was pressuring him, who stood to gain the most from a world of unlimited money printing and endless debt. They saw the gold standard not as a source of stability, but as a cage, a restraint on their power and their ambition. The names of the people and institutions who whispered in Nixon's ear, who helped craft this new world order, are names you probably know. But you've likely never connected them to this story. And when you find out who they were and what they gained in the decades that followed, the entire puzzle of our modern economy starts to make a terrifying kind of sense. This wasn't just about stopping a run on gold. It was about fundamentally reshaping the world. It was about shifting power from sovereign nations and their citizens to a globalized financial elite. It was about creating a system they could control. And they succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. The world we live in today is their creation. And the problems we face are the direct result of their plan. But the first step to fixing a problem is understanding it. It's time to pull back the curtain and see the truth of what happened on August 15, 1971, because the lie has gone on for far too long. We're going to dive deep into who was really behind this, and trust me, you won't believe the names we uncover. But what if I told you that wasn't the whole story? But on Wall Street, in the boardrooms of international banks, and in the halls of foreign governments, they knew. This was the birth of the modern financial system, a system based not on value, but on confidence and, more importantly, on control. To understand how this new system works, you need to know about the 1971 money machine. It's a simple yet brilliant three-step process that has defined the global economy for over 50 years. Step 1. Print more dollars. With no gold backing, the Federal Reserve gained the power to create money out of thin air whenever it deemed necessary. The deal was simple. The US would provide military protection, and in return, Saudi Arabia would price all its oil sales exclusively in US dollars. Soon, all of OPEC followed. This created the petrodollar system. If any country in the world wanted to buy oil, and every country needs oil, they first had to get US dollars. This manufactured a constant artificial global demand for the dollar. Regardless of the health of the US economy, the dollar wasn't just America's currency anymore. It became the world's currency. Step 3. Force the world to buy US debt to keep the system alive. So what do countries like Japan, China, and Germany do with all the excess dollars they accumulate from selling us their cars, electronics, and goods? They can't just hold them as cash, because inflation, which is a direct result of step 1, eats away at their value. So they need a safe place to park their dollar reserves. And what's the safest dollar-denominated asset in the world? US Treasury bonds. They essentially lend their money back to the US government by buying its debt. By printing more money, the value of each dollar decreases. History is filled with the graves of empires that debased their currency. For the average American, real wages have been largely stagnant for 40 years, even as productivity has soared. Every time a barrel of oil is sold for Chinese yuan or Indian rupees, it's a small chip away at the petrodollar's foundation. At the same time, governments around the world are rushing to develop central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. These are programmable, government-controlled digital versions of money that could offer unprecedented levels of surveillance and control over your spending. They are being presented as the solution to the problems of our aging financial system. But are they a solution or just the next phase of control in a post-dollar world? Every single one of these issues, the crushing debt, the stagnating wages, the asset bubbles, the inequality, the move away from the dollar, the rise of CBDCs can be traced back to that single decision made in 1971, the day money became disconnected from reality, the day the promise of infinite printing began. It was baked into the cake. The only real question left is how it will unfold. Will it be a slow, grinding decline or a sudden, catastrophic event? So, as we stand here looking at the economic turmoil around us, we have to ask ourselves a critical question. Are we any wiser than the generations that came before us? Or are we just walking down the same well-trodden path to financial ruin? Only this time, we're doing it in nicer suits and staring at smartphones. The clock that started ticking in 1971 is getting louder every day. The real question is, you listening? Thanks for watching. If this video gave you a new perspective on our financial world, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the official story. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.